See, things have come to head, time out for scare you, scary route today. And follow us down Courage Lane, they cages in, break down the gates. We want all the smoke, like we chiefin' on a pound a day. But not talking intoxicating rage, not this is far more tragic than what's comprehended. This has got to stop, I don't understand everything as a man. I'm authorized by God to make this petition. Believe it, especially when you hate and aim to kill a man.
TOTB, back in the building. Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Another fire dope episode of the Counsel. Thank y'all, man. Did y'all miss us? Y'all ain't miss us, man. Y'all be capping like y'all missed us.
We missed y'all.
Welcome back to a fire episode, man. Thinking Outside the Box podcast. So glad that y'all tuned back in with us. We got a lot to talk about, man. There's been so much that's happened over the last couple of weeks, but we're going to get into it. Before we do all that, man, be sure you like, comment, subscribe, share all the episodes, especially this episode, man. Find us on Instagram, TOTB_show, or TOTB the dopest on Facebook and IG, man. Be sure you, man, look, we're going to follow y'all back, man, okay? We're going to follow y'all back. Be sure to go follow us on, man. We got a lot of dope stuff coming up on the internet, social media, and everything like that, man. Look, we got a lot to talk about, but we can't start until we introduce the thinkers. And y'all see we got guests. But before we introduce our guests, my man over here, man, Holy Grind. Tell them what's up. Where can they find you, Brody?
Man, shout out great people. You can catch me at Holy Grind on Instagram or streaming at all digital download sites. You can find Holy Grind music streaming.
For sure.
There it is.
For sure.
Right next to him, man. The guy who makes me look like a saint. Moolah Monster, man. Tell them what's up. Where can they find you?
Moolah Monster Collections. Check me out on Instagram, for
There
sure.
it is. Right next to him, man. Philosopher, B-Scholar. Where can they find you, Brody?
Black_scholar, IG.
Of course, I'm Reg Move 4. You can find me at the NASSOCIETY. And we are
Thinking Outside the Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see the ladies we have on the show.
Ladies.
I will say we've had a lot of shows. We're in our third season. We had a lot of dope guests, you know. Shout out to the women that came on the show before. All of them was dope, but these ladies have a special place in our heart, man.
Yes, sir.
Counsel with the Counsel is a dope, not just a podcast, it's a dope movement of ladies.
Yes,
they have a lot
indeed.
of great things to talk about, you know, so we want to welcome them back to the show.
Yes.
So I'm going to introduce them individually. Right next to me, man, is a dope woman, man. She is the host of Let's Be Great podcast, a really, really good podcast. Go check it out. Also, one of the members of Counsel for the Counsel. Say what's up to Shjavon. Where can they find you?
How you doing?
Right.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
TikTok.
Forget about TikTok.
Okay.
And Let's Be Great. How you doing?
There it is.
And also Counsel with the Counsel.
Oh, yeah, can't forget that, right?
Yeah.
Then, directly across from me, I call him best friend, man, because
That's my best friend.
my best friend. That's my best friend. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a lady that is, look, there's a lot of women that have a lot of different views on things, right? And, you know, I think differently a lot of the times. This is the only woman that I can ever say can match my energy with thinking, you know, and that's rare.
Get in there.
DeeAshanti, welcome to the show, man. Tell them what can they find you.
DeeAshanti, all social media, Counsel with the Counsel.
Dope. Thank you guys for coming, man. Yep. Okay, so listen, we have a lot to talk about. We have a topic we're going to talk about as well. But before we do, everybody that's tuning in, everybody on the platform, the thinkers, the ladies, we have to start the show off by talking about there was a mass shooting going on in Texas, right? A lot of people was killed. A lot of kids was killed. It was an elementary school. A number of kids was killed.
17 kids killed.
It said 18.
Oh, it's
up to
climbing.
20 now. It's still climbing.
Yeah.
Terrible what's going on in our...
If it's true.
If what it is. It's terrible what's going on in our world right now. There's a lot of media outlets, there's sportcasters, there's radio personalities that speaking on it, right? So of course we have to give our thoughts on it, right? I think that it's of course terrible. It's very heart-wrenching to hear what's going on in our community, in our world. But let's get the platforms. And you guys comment your opinion as well. What do y'all think about what's going on? First of all, our T's and P's, thoughts and prayers go out to the families that lost their loved ones today. But come on, what is y'all post on what happened, man? Anybody can go.
I'm honestly at a loss. I don't even know what to say. You send your baby to school and he or she just doesn't come back home.
Right.
And the crazy part about it was the baby that did it. It just shows how people as parents, how our thoughts and views and how the impact that we make on our children in our home. Because I don't know why that young man decided to not only murder his grandmother, but go to school and murder 20 babies and a teacher.
Yeah.
And ultimately get killed himself. But I feel like life has failed him to get to that point where that was even an option. And the fact that someone else's parenting, the lack of it, has completely changed hundreds and hundreds of people, because every child in that school is impacted by it. Every family in that community is impacted by it. It lets us know as parents, as villages, how we really have to take better care of what we are putting into our children. Because this is not the first time this has happened, and this is not, and sadly,
This is a situation where you definitely blame the parents, because how does a child have access to that kind of arsenal? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Do you think it's mental? Like, everybody like to, put that aside, on certain things, but do we look at it like, do people really have these mental problems like this? Every time something crazy happens, like, is it mental? Is it mental? Like, I don't know if that's the blame, but
I think you do have to have a mental instability to do something like this, yes.
Well, if it's mental, it's kind of hard to blame the parent.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on what you're
Because
saying.
what I'm saying, I'm sorry.
No,
What
go
I'm
ahead.
saying was in terms of him getting access to that kind of machinery to do that type of damage.
and at that young age is certain things that
You'll be surprised, as far as mothers, y'all be
How old he
surprised.
was?
What
He was
guys-
18.
18 years old.
But let me say what you were saying with mental. Like,
But he was 18, but it was a middle school, or
it was
went
an
to
elementary
went
school.
to
But he
elementary
shot
school,
up
but
his
he was
grandmother
18.
first.
Yeah.
Right, and then he went and killed some kids.
then
Yeah.
he went to the elementary. So he didn't go to his high school or
Yeah.
like a high school environment with younger children.
Let me say this, what he was saying with the mental, like, this situation, which is unfortunate, and everybody drawn into their attention, but we do have mental issues there, and we can see it acted out every day on television. And so I was saying is, like, why do we never stress putting like real mental health into the schools, into the elementary?
Right.
Because, we could probably say the parents, but maybe this kid had access to people because they could get tools and weapons. Maybe the parents did. Maybe the parent didn't even have no control over her son's emotion. But I think with the COVID, with the music, with the breakdown, what has to happen for us to know that we in like a crisis or a state of emergency with mental health? Because that young lady, that model, like, remember the model that killed herself?
The beauty queen who jumped
I was
out.
thinking, like, now she got everything,
But she didn't.
but she didn't.
But this is
Yeah.
like the second incident, because about a
Well-
month
And then
ago,
Buffalo.
the church.
No, at the
Well,
grocery
I was
store.
gonna say the grocery store.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I had made the statement, if it's true. I don't know if you really pay attention, but every time something happens that's racially motivated, they end up being real detrimental to our people. It's something that always happens right after then, that pull the attention right off of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go
yeah.
back, if you go back and you really think about it, every time something happens that is a hate crime against black people, it's always something right after then that happens. It pulls all the attention away. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen. It just makes me wonder, because we do know we got crisis actors, of course, and stuff like that. But if it did happen, mental, as far as I look at it, mental, it does play a role, but that's part of the reason that so many people have mental problems, because your first defense against being mentally unstable is a stable family. Is your parents at home.
Stable household.
It's your household. You know what I mean? It's how, and people could debate that all the time, but you show me a healthy family, a mother and a father married, working together to raise their children. The father spending time with the boys, the mom spending time with the daughters, and vice versa. And majority of them, you don't see many of them that end up like this. Usually it's something inside of that household that's flawed that leads to the mental downfall. You know what I'm saying?
We could say, but then also some parents could have done everything that they could have, that they knew to do with their tools, and still didn't have the tools to give that young man. That's why I say we have to put mental health in the school.
Well, the reason why is I think it'll be difficult to put in schools because school is a business. All right, think about a lot of the stuff, a lot of the curriculum in school that is a complete waste of time when we should be shifting focus to other things. So I think that, but see, parents have to get involved in that, right? So like LSC, PAC committees and things like that. It is all political, but parents have to understand you control the principal. You control who are in these schools. So like get involved. You can't just look at some parents, not all. Some parents look at school as just a babysitting service, right? As long as my kid is away, think about it, they get to eat, right? They're gone for a few hours. They have supervision to a capacity, but I think that has a lot to do with it. We could change what our kids are learning in school, but we have to be involved.
Well, I'm sorry. So once again, guys, let's get you guys caught up. Welcome to Thinking Outside the Box. So glad y'all back with us. Got Counsel with the Counsel on, man. We have a topic, but before we go into our topic, we're talking about what happened, right, with the mass shooting that happened in Texas. And actually, this is like Brian had mentioned, this is not the first time this has happened in the last month, a grocery store. Like, things has been happening a lot lately. I don't know what's going on in the atmosphere, but, these mass shootings are happening. So we're giving our opinions on what's happening. And, I agree with a lot of these opinions. I feel like there is, I talk about mental health a lot. Mental health is so prominent that people, like I talk about all the time therapy. Black people don't go to therapy, especially black men for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think women have a more outlet with their circle. They can talk to their girls. Black men don't feel, it's like they don't feel safe talking to their boys about what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? So therapy is not a topic for them. But I do feel like what happened was unfortunate. I could not imagine that happening to my child, So like I said, my thoughts and prayers go out to them. But I want to ask you guys, Dee mentioned that some of the parents has fault. Mullah said that it could be a mental thing. I want to ask you guys, do you feel like at some point, because to my understanding, the person who did this, he passed away too, right? He's dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like if he didn't pass away, do you feel like he would have got the right type of strength from the police? No, you don't think so?
No.
We already know how that was going to turn out. They was going to go to McDonald's on his way to the police station.
They took Kyle Rittenhouse to Burger King. They probably would have took him to Red Lobster or something. Chick-fil-A, right?
That's unfortunate.
No ad, just that fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we already know how that turns out. Like he mentioned it, like it's, a lot of it is a race thing because you don't hear that type. I've heard about one incident, but you don't hear about that type of thing happening in our community. Now, I ain't gonna lie, we do drive-bys. We do have our things that we do.
It's not like we're the saints in that capacity.
Right, but we don't go into an element. I've never heard, and I don't know everything, but of going into an elementary school while children are sitting in their desks learning in the middle of the day and shoot their classrooms.
So we're saying that Caucasians and African American people have different ways of killing, right? Or this?
No, I'm just saying that a lot of times I'm trying to, hopefully this make the internet one day or whatever. But what I'm saying is not just is that particular race group. We don't hear about a lot of other communities that happens in. This is like, every racial group has their stains, and I think this is a really huge stain for that culture that continues to happen over and over again, and no one's talking about a resolution.
That's the part. And what irritates me is, I'm not saying we're the saints, right? The messed up part about the shit that we do is, I'm going to shoot you, but as opposed to me thinking about the innocent people that's around you, I'm just going to shoot and hit somebody who the bullet wasn't even intended for. That's not right. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is accountability needs to be accountability across the board. I think that we need to make this a talking point, just like we're talking about, the South Side of Chicago this and the South Side of Chicago that. What about these mass shootings too?
So basically, it's sickening when our people go to kill somebody because they gang banging, keep it real or whatever, and they end up hitting an innocent child.
Or an innocent person.
Or an innocent person. But I said for a child for a reason, because in this instance, though, you had a guy, 18-year-old, going to an elementary school and actually target children.
Yeah, right. That's true.
So it don't make it. We're not saying it makes it one better than the other, because they both wrong.
Right.
But it's a difference on how we approach things. It is a difference. But we're the ones that's looked at as barbaric. We're the ones that's looked at as
unstable.
We the ones.
Our children are treated like criminals before they even had a chance to be treated like criminals. Like right now, our elementary schools have metal detectors.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, not to say maybe
clear
they do.
Book bags,
clear book bags.
I mean, just look at the news. They ain't calling him no thug. They
no,
ain't
they're
calling
not.
him no
They're
terrorist.
not. He's gonna be someone that was a perfect person that just had a.
It's
mental
unfortunate.
instability.
It's unfortunate, and that's why I say it starts at home. I don't care what you say. Show me a stable household, and I'm not saying it's not possible, but have we ever heard about any of these people who have come from a stable household?
The foundation, like we just mentioned that, like it comes from, it's about the foundation, and doing the best that you can. It's not gonna be perfect, but doing the best that you can to create some type of stability for these young people, because they grow up to be adults. And when your parenting comes into my household, we have a problem. This is a direct reflection of.
I think the world has just got good people and it got bad people, and some of these bad people are free.
I agree with that.
Just simple.
I agree with that.
Because it's like it takes a lot to get up and do what he did today.
But and also you guys
calculated.
You gotta look at it too, and this is gonna probably sound kind of like wrong. Like the world is used to us cutting up, so like we it's kind of hard to take a different approach about it when you constantly hearing killing and shoot, and even the way we respond to the killing and shooting. We then somewhat got a little bit kind of numb to it, right?
I'm not surprised about this, though. I'm sad. My heart is breaking,
but it's not. I would have to agree. It's not surprising, and this is. Think about it this way too, Scholar. We don't hear about it. We're going to hear about it today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Maybe when they start having a memorial, that's going to be it. But you're going to continuously hear about the South Side of Chicago.
Of course.
Right.
It's going to be drilled. I'm talking about like, it's ridiculous how it's going to be, how the South Side of Chicago was plagued all across the world. But these mass killings, you hear about it for a little while and then nothing.
But like I said, the people that are in position, or people that have platform, they have a responsibility to speak to the hypocrisy, right? They have a platform to say, man, why y'all keep, showing this stuff in our neighborhood, or why y'all keep pointing those pictures like that? When we don't say anything, we become complicit in our own demise.
Think about all the time these people with these platforms are paid.
Right.
See, cash is king. So I could talk about what's happening in my community.
Right.
I could talk about these mass shootings, but I get paid the big dollars.
Oh, it's governed.
To talk about what happens.
They talk about it's governed.
Yeah.
It's governed on
at
what
the
you're
end
going
of
to
the
talk
day,
about.
it got something to do with the guns. Like, it's really got something to do with Congress and senators and all that. It's bigger than us.
Yeah,
Do you believe in somebody mentioned, actually, the coach of the Golden State Warriors mentioned today about gun reform.
Steve Kerr.
Do you guys believe there should be more of a strict mandate for gun reform?
Yes.
I think it's a lot of politics in it, and we need to, cut the middleman out.
Yeah, like the NRA. Like that's huge. They don't care about, like making stricter gun laws, things like that.
But they support those type of things as long as we're not the ones with the gun. Think about that Kyle Rittenhouse stuff.
Yeah.
He came across state lines to shoot
To
with a
kill.
gun to a protest.
I don't care
to
what
shoot.
anybody say. He came across that too.
And he was backed by gun.
The NRA.
Well, they want us with guns too.
Yeah.
They do too. Like
Because it's
to
all
kill
part of
each
the
other,
plan.
though.
It's all part of the plan.
Because that's what
Depopulate the world.
they create
They'll
level
kill each other.
fear and label fear like, okay, I'm gonna have to get a legal gun. So it's like everybody's making money. Like fear is profitable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what I want to do is, once again, thank you guys for thinking outside the box. This is such and these topics they hit home so much, and we're going to continue to talk about it, and we're going to utilize our platform to bring awareness to what's going on, right? like I said, be sure you follow us on Instagram, TOTB the Dopest, and there'll be a lot of things that we post on there, a lot of more interviews and stuff, but we're going to piggyback on that, right? But I want to switch gears because we definitely have a topic that I feel like we need to talk about. So, once again, we have Counsel with the Counsel on Women. One more time, give them a hand, clap. Like I said, they hold a special part in our hearts, man. So, our good friend DeeAshanti, if you follow her on social media, even if you don't, tell them one more time where they can follow you.
DeeAshanti on all social media.
DeeAshanti on all social media, right? A little while ago, maybe a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever, she had posted a statement, right, that kind of raised a lot of questions and people had their say so about things, right? So I'm going to read it. And I'm going to turn the floor over to her to kind of give her explanation of what she meant. Be sure you comment on anything that we say, but especially this segment right here, right? Okay, so DeeAshanti said this on May 11th. She said, in a marriage, no one comes before your spouse. No one. Not your friends, not your family, even your kids. Yep, she said, read that again. Mature audience only. All right, once again, she said, in a marriage, no one comes before your spouse. No one. Not friends, your family, not even your kids. Mature audience only. So, as you can imagine, that had caused a lot of stir. Over 50-something shares, and a lot of people had some kind of stupid stuff to say. But I feel like we need to talk about that. But before we do, Dee, do you care to explain that status that you made on May 11th?
So, for the sake of the show, yes, but I said what I said,
Okay.
and I mean that.
Stand on it.
I think that, first of all, people need to understand what the first part of that post said. It says, in a marriage.
All right.
This does not mean in my baby daddy, baby mama. This does not mean in my flavor of the week. It does not mean in my sneaky link or any of that. In a marriage, my husband, that I have been married to for almost 10 years, comes first.
Okay.
That does not mean that if my kids need something, no, I have to cater to him and vice versa. That is not what that means. My husband and I have to take care of each other and make sure that we are okay in every capacity to run our household. If one partner is down, it is the other partner's job to lift the other one up so that we can steer this ship together.
Okay.
That is what it's about. It has nothing to do. I saw some people say, well, what about when it comes to feeding your kids? And first of all, if you are married to a spouse, a man or a woman that expects you to, if you have limited resources, to take care of them over the children, then you need to reevaluate. That is not what it's about. It is not about, oh, well, like somebody, I was all kind of stupid bees and everything.
Oh,
and
I saw it all.
I was, some people said that, you know, my husband is probably fondling my daughter and I wouldn't believe her because I'm too busy in his face. And it's like, okay, like, first of all, you're not married, you know, and so you would not understand. So that's what I meant by it. And again, I stand on what I said. A lot of people still don't agree. Even married people, believe it or not, married people don't agree with that. So, but I think it takes a mature mind.
Once again, the topic is called Who Comes First? All right, we're asking you guys, everybody that's tuning in, we're asking the topic, asking the question, who comes first, your spouse or your child? Who comes first, your spouse or your child? Not your baby daddy, not your sneaky link or anybody, you know what I'm saying? Who comes first, your spouse or your child? I want to ask a lot of people on the platform, but I think the first person I want to ask is Grind. Grind. Do you believe that, or do you are in agreement with DeeAshanti that in a marriage, your spouse, your wife, comes first, even before your kids?
Definitely.
All right.
Let me explain something to you, bro. Let me explain something to you, bro. If we working together to take care of the family, I want to go back to a statement that she made. That they talking about when it come to feeding the kids. First of all, if I ain't got the strength to go out and take care of the family, provide for the family, then what good am I to the family?
Okay.
So when it come time to eat, my wife, my kids ain't stopping. My plate get fixed first. She fixed my plate first.
Okay.
That don't mean I'm gonna eat all the food and don't get none to the kids. Yeah. People just acting silly with this mess, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was so much immaturity.
Yeah, so that's because it's a lot of bitter people, a lot of people who ain't been married, or a lot of people who have lost their spouse because they treated their kids like they men. Instead of their husband like they man, and a lot of them lost their husbands like that. Just keep it real. And then on the male side, it's a lot of single males who just look at it from an immature way. Like, hey, listen. First of all, you should be, if you with somebody who don't understand that we ought to bring up our children under the nurture and admonition of the Lord, then that's on you. You shouldn't have married that person. First of all. But we understand that the kids' needs. Both of us understand the kids' needs need to be met. So it's not like I'm not finna take care of the kids just because you don't want me to take care of the kids. People thinking about stupid stuff, man. But when it comes to like even when it come to your wants, that's just like if my kids want pizza, but the wife say she want to go to Shake Shack, you going to Shake Shack. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna die for that. Oh, you wrong.
It's the truth.
You wrong. You evil. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Because guess what? Them kids gonna grow older and they gonna move on and start their own family. Yeah. And what we got to teach them is how we work together as a team to provide for them. So that means as a team, I'm here to pick you up when you down. She pick me up when we down, and together we take care of you to the best of our ability. You know what I mean? But of course she come first, man, and vice versa. Anybody got a problem with that, they just don't understand it because they sitting up there fighting against their own demons. They fighting against putting themselves first over everybody. And they selfish in their own ways. And that's really what it is. There's a lot of selfish people out there who think about themselves, who don't think about the next person. They ain't looking at you got men out there who not looking at women like they ain't looking at them as wives. And then you got some wives who ain't looking at men as husbands. And like she said, this is for married folk. And that's the bottom line.
That's it.
Moolah. Come on, man. You know I'm ready to hear your
I got a pass, man. It's for married folks. Just said it's for married folks.
So we ain't got nothing to say on this topic, right?
No, we're not. Come on, no. I need to hear your opinion on in a marriage.
Man.
Let's say when you get married.
I think he summed it up, but like I feel too, right? That's probably the reason why I'm not married, because my kids like so high to me. You feel me? So, once I find that person gonna take over that, yeah.
It's not.
But why do they have to take it over?
Well,
they're not even in the same lane though. Like I
understand that, but I haven't reached that marriage point to, to start categorizing all that. So right now, my babies is my number one.
Okay.
Can I play devil's advocate a little bit to what he's saying?
My
because
girl number two,
I understand that part because I'm not married, but I have kids. So I think for a person that's not married, but who has aspirations to be married, they're thinking like, okay, when my kids has been with me for 10 years, these are my kids. Now, I want to get married, and I want to love my wife, I want to love my husband. Right. But what if they leave me the next day? You know what I'm saying? So it's like the people who's not saying that they're right, whoever's been saying that stuff, I think that they're looking at it out a certain lens, so to speak. But I will say that once you are in a relationship and you have kids, you view it as different than marriage. Because when you're married, people don't like to hear this, when you married, everything that you did before marriage has to take the back seat. Everything. Not just partying, not just drinking, not just, everything has to, because that, especially by biblical, if you're, Christian or whatever like that. But I think that it's hard for some people because, like I mentioned to Dee before, 72% of women that have kids are baby mamas. They're not married. They're not even in a relationship. They're baby mamas. So, of course, they get offended when they hear something like that. Scala.
I think it's kind of like a silly debate. Like, of course, my wife, she gonna go first. Like, I don't even gotta say nothing slick because I want my kids to leave. Like I love them, but I don't want I don't want them to be with me forever. Yeah. I don't, I'm not gonna even like them forever. Like I take care of them. Remember that movie with Denzel? Like, I don't supposed to, you know, I just supposed to provide for you. I don't supposed to be getting all this so emotional. So my job just to provide for you.
Yep.
And it'd be like that silly debate. If you got more than one kid, which one you love the most? Well, I just like all of y'all. You know, I love all y'all the same way. But I don't really get in that old hocus pocus stuff. Yeah, of course she got to go first. You know, she going to be with me. But a better question would be if you have children and then you get married and she's not your baby mother, will you make her first if she didn't start with you first?
I think that's what I was saying. Yeah.
So could you make your new wife,
who you don't have kids,
who you don't have children with, could you put her above your children who you had a relationship with?
So that's where I was going.
That's a better question, right?
Answered the question in that story, because even now, like, I am single, I have children, they're adult children, and even as dating, you have to make I want to be a wife one day, right? So you're gonna have a partner, you have to build that relationship up. But I never put the person I was dating in the same realm as, not to say they couldn't meet, but that's totally different relationships. They're totally different.
Well, we're saying if you married though.
But they wouldn't be, it's not one over the other. My household, my husband is a priority in my household. I'm not going to be talking to my children about how we're going to pay our mortgage. I'm not.
Well, I'm saying, because we kind of like deflecting a little bit.
But I'm saying,
I just want real simple. No, not priority. We don't want to use fancy words. Listen, because we kind of like really deflecting real quick. What? You got your children. They grown. You love. Hold on. No, listen to me. Priority is such a broad and ambiguous word. Okay. That is not what he used. Is your husband gonna be first above all? Your most important consideration over your children?
He will be my priority. The reason,
you're not able to change the switch like that.
Let me tell you why I say that.
Most females not.
Because I'm telling you why.
You get what I'm saying?
No, but listen, can I explain to you why I say that? I love my children.
Right.
And like I said, like for instance, we weren't working to nurture our household to raise these children. My children are adults now. They have their own lives. They're doing their own thing.
Right.
The relationship I have with my children is the relationship I have with my children.
Right.
I'm in the adult parenting stage. But my husband, the household that we're building, what we're doing in our household is always going to be a priority. Now, a priority doesn't mean that we're always going to be first. Like you said, I may not always be first. Something else may be first. His mama may be first, or his daddy may be first, but he will be my priority.
That's not what DeeAshanti. That's not the picture that you paint.
Right. That's
we trying to make a comparison, right? We trying to switch the scenario. What I'm saying, if you have children, I'll try this again. You have children, and you meet another man. Can that new man, however you build it, can he elevate to the status where he is your number one? Forget about pride. Can he elevate to a status where you will put your kids on the back burner?
Like that's hard.
But you never put your children on the back burner. To me, I can't.
We didn't say you didn't. We didn't say you didn't love your children.
I've been there.
Yeah. We didn't say. Now listen, Grant. I didn't say you don't love your children.
I know what you're saying.
Listen.
But what he basically is like you saying the same thing.
You saying the same thing
because what it is. If you with somebody, long as they understand that we got to take care of these kids, that's not an issue.
That's
so simple. That's so simple. I don't care if I come into a relationship, which I have, with a child. As long as you understand that this child needs to be tended to, needs to be cared for, and you understand that, and you be elevated to wife, then guess what? You still give you put first.
But wouldn't that be the same situation you're talking about? Why is it debated?
Yeah, that's the same. That's why I say it's the same thing.
Like it's not a debate.
But the comparison was because you talking about something more in depth. You were specific. You were specific, right? You was willing to put. You was willing. I'm standing on this. That means it's a little bit more sauce on this. What you talking about?
No, that's the same thing I'm saying.
No. What I'm saying is. But if the children are not connected and then y'all get married, will you still have that same passion?
But I understand what he's saying because here's the thing, right? And sometimes especially like the older your children are, right? It gets to a point where they don't want to involve themselves. Let's say the person you're dating, you want to wife her, you want to marry him, right? They don't get along, right? Like it's a clash, right? But you like, man, I got the ring in my pocket. I'm going to propose to her tonight, right? How can you, for somebody who's been a single dad all this time, a single mom all this time, how can you, I think what he's saying is, how can you elevate your potential spouse when you've been in this single lane so long and you've raised your children and I don't like him or her? Because
see, if you use the word marriage, you just interchange it like that. I'm reversing the words and giving it back to you, but you've been in a different state. But so let's not just use the word to hide behind. What I'm saying is, you've been single for a while. Now here go the word. Now the context changes. But if we always been together,
I see what
everybody
you're saying.
understands what I mean.
No, it's that what you're saying is you have people that have a problem with that, but what she's saying is that's not an issue for her. That's what she's saying. That's not an issue. Just like it's not an issue for me. Listen, it's a child, right? See, that's for people that don't want to parent. See, when it come to parent, we ain't gonna get along. Listen, you not gonna abuse my child. And you're not going to disrespect my own wife.
And then, like, for me,
and that's the bottom line.
We're not going to get to the point where you want to marry me if you can't, like,
then go back to the jellyback syndrome.
Dysfunction, we're not going to get to
Hey, hold on. But let me tell you something, Shjavon.
Let me know what I'm saying. Let me know what I'm trying to say out. And, like, what you mentioned about, like, the conflict. If we are in a relationship, if I have children I'm caring for in my household and you're dating me, hopefully you are actively getting to make a relationship with my children, to the point where if you are going to be a fixture in my household, ultimately you will be responsible for these children as well. It ain't going to be no I don't like you, because you're going to take the time to develop a relationship with me. Now, same way, if we don't work out and we can't connect, that relationship, because this comes with me. Same thing if a man has children and we're not connecting. Because I'm gonna date his children and get to know his children just like I'm getting to know him. I need to love those babies like I love him, because ultimately.
What if the children don't like you?
Hold on, Amy say this. I'm gonna show you this.
And it may not need to work out.
So watch this. Amy say this. Look, Amy say this. We got a comment. She says, "Yes, my husband and my marriage comes before my kids. I wouldn't marry a man that put me in a position to neglect my kids." And that's the bottom line.
But listen. Exactly. Hold on a second.
Exactly.
Listen what I'm trying to say.
Neglect, though?
Here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about neglect. We're not talking about love. We just hear me out. You like this woman. The kids don't like you.
Okay.
Can you still love her at that same status, under the wife status, and you love your kid, and them children don't like your spouse?
Because
yeah, she ain't doing nothing wrong.
Right. No, but
take what the kids
so we saying it wouldn't cause no difficulty.
When it comes to
I'm saying
that's for the people. That's for people that got a problem with parenting. Like, listen, I ain't got no problem. You acting silly right now. It's a lot, but so what? That's part of parenting. That's why it's called train. See, we take away this train up a child thing. If they a child, training ain't easy, man. You've been to the service.
Right.
Training ain't easy.
No, but I don't think it's...
You know what I'm saying?
But that goes to, like, when you're dating, for instance. You may be a great man to me, right?
Right.
But your parenting style and my parenting style may be off, and what your parenting style may not work for my children. It may work for yours. So you may be a parent that's very stern on X, Y, Z. I may be let's rainbows and unicorn parent. But we do well in a relationship, but our co-parenting, our parenting skills doesn't mesh. So guess what? You have conflicts and bump with my children because the way that I parent them ain't the way. That go back to what I said. Parenting things. The children, it may not get along, but guess what? I believe that when you have small children, like children that we have years of raising, if we're supposed to be on the same page in all aspects, I personally don't think that if we can't get our co-parenting relationship together and children, I don't think our regular relationship, that's part of our whole unit. I don't think it will work. I don't think that, how can we be a loving couple, a power couple, if our co-parenting situation, and we can't get these kids.
Let me just say this last piece.
Now, like with adult children, it's different.
Let me say this real thing. I just want to make sure DeeAshanti put it in context. When you made your statement, you was talking about your husband going first. You saying even if the kid is good or bad or nothing like that, he is my number one priority. Mm-hmm. Whether the kid's messed up, good, bad, gang banging, my husband still come first. Mm-hmm. This is what she's saying. This is what I interpreted, right? So like I said, that's kind of like real easy, right? But if we put it from a different relationship, say if we two want to be married, and say if the children are they're not each of our, we don't share children, and we have that conflict, do you still hold that same belief? Not no broad picture and say all this stuff. Will you still stand on the same principle that she said? Well, if we don't share children and we have difficulty.
That's,
well,
that's not my narrative, so I can't stand
No, but I'm just saying, here's the narrative. Can I still be first with the, because the argument is about standing with the mate with the title.
No. I see what you saying. What you're saying though, you're asking the same thing. You saying it's broad, but that's what she said is broad. She's saying period. No matter what, that's broad. Right. That means that he put first. Right. So it's broad. Period.
Well, okay, so I ask the question again. So no matter what the difficulty is, if we don't share children, your position is that she still comes first.
Yes.
Is that your position? Is the question?
Do she still come first? Now I'm gonna tell you something.
Hear him out.
Listen. I feel that men will accept being a stepdad faster than a woman will accept being a stepmom.
Okay.
This is y'all problem. That's why we can't come together. Now you said you into something like that. It's exceptions to the rule.
Oh, right, you know what I'm saying? Right. I know what you're saying.
That's an anomaly.
April, she's
no,
genius.
I see what you're saying. Right. You saying majority. I feel
you have a blended household, right?
Yeah. I came in with kids. And
women is not going to put no man above their kids.
And
they don't have no kids by that man. I'm telling you.
That's what their comment was.
No matter.
That's what. Yeah, because
no matter no how.
They will be a priority, but the first.
I know the game.
I like a word that she used.
I know the game.
Priority is not your word.
I don't put them in the same category. Like they're separate. Like
but you don't. But I think the people that respond to
her.
But see,
and that's what Jeff is saying.
That's what we said.
But her comment wasn't for us unmarried folks. It was for.
But see, and I also feel like a lot of the women that were coming at me were the same women. Oh, my son is bae. And my this and that. Like, husband. What are you talking about? Your son is not gay.
That's their husband.
And I know you probably get a lot of emails from me making that comment too. But it's just I think that sometimes we put children in a category. Let me rephrase, okay? I think that sometimes what I've seen on the social medias is that some women put their sons in a category where they shouldn't. And I think that can assist in blurring the lines too, when you start calling your son bae and when I don't need a man because my son is my man. No, like your son, and I'm not just talking about in a sexual aspect. There are things that you will need, and there are certain wants and desires that you will have. And again, I'm not speaking just sexual. There are certain wants and desires that you will want, right, that your child can never give you.
Yeah. You know how I feel about this subject. This cringe mom.
So, I think that it's...
Like, I think that's... as a single mother, and I have a son and a daughter, that society makes it that a single women try to make our son to the man that we want, that we can't get.
But can I tell you something, though, friend?
But let me finish. Not to dispute what you're saying, the comment that you made, people were speaking on it who can never relate. Mm-hmm. And they tried to take what you say and make it a
turn it around to them, yeah.
Make it and you can't. And that's why it's so much, because we're friends. This is my best friend. But I completely support what she says and I back it. But what that's not my narrative. I can't try to make that fit for me because I'm not in that space. And like I said, I can't relate to it because that's not what I'm in. And I can't get offended by it because that's not my narrative. I can't get offended by it and try to attack her for her narrative. This is who she is. This is her life. These are decisions that her partner makes. Who am I to sit there? And that's the thing that kind of I told her, the ones that get it, and the ones that don't. You have to respect it.
Well, I got another comment here. I like this. She says, I personally been in the position that the baby mama didn't like me, so it caused issues between the child and myself. I stayed kind and respectful, and took the issue to my man. He set the kids down with me and discussed how they were to conduct themselves. We moved forward. Okay. And I go back to what that's why when Turbo said what he said, I'm like, okay, because see the man when you got a man, a stand up man, he will nip that in the bud. He ain't finna let that linger, because we like peace. We simple, you know what I mean. We want things peaceful. We don't want all this nonsense. You know, this stuff got to be handled. But it do make you wonder because you do have some women who will basically it's like they challenging the man's authority by putting the child over the man. Mm-hmm. Basically meaning like because they so used to treating the child like their man.
Let me say something.
When it come to boys more so than anything.
Do you know? So I came from a single parent home, and most males, even if the mother didn't want them to, they may naturally take on the role of the male. Mm-hmm. Even if they wasn't assigned it, right? Mm-hmm. They naturally want to help their mother. You ever heard the term mama's boy? So they naturally start adopting the man role. I want to be protective. So when you got so many of those households moving like this, then this becomes the norm. Now, number two, when you got so many of these households moving like that, and then men into those households not playing the role of a man, then she can't address him like a man. She knows she could depend on her son, but all she gets from you is the childish behavior because you don't take on a position of authority. You play the safe zone. I don't really live here. I'm just a traveler through this situation. That's why I had to mix it up. I said because it's really elementary. A healthy relationship. You gotta make a healthy. This is a husband. You know, we ain't debating with the kids because it's healthy. But so a truer question would be something that was gonna bring a different type of dynamics, and y'all gonna make different type of decisions. So young men, I tell my son, shit, I'm Caesar here. I don't need you to come and dictate this. I'm Caesar. There's a man in this house. You have to remind them. Because they trying to learn and exert their manhood, and as they should, and then your boy too, they'll get the woofing and bucking, and then you gotta let them know, oh no, I'm still here. I'm still. Because remember I told you, a young boy that come to your house to visit your daughter, he first trying to dictate who run this house. And if it ain't no man in this house, ain't no order in that house.
He gets to do what he want to do.
He gets to do what he want to do.
But you know, and that's the problem. You said the key thing because that's how a man has to come into a situation when dealing with a woman who already got kids. He got to come in on top of his business already.
He got to come in already.
I'm coming in here willing to play the role. And she got to be willing. Exactly.
It got to be a balance though. You can't come in like, I'm the man. Like, it gotta be a balance.
Listen, wait. Let me show you something. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me show you something. See, you saying balance.
Define it.
You saying balance because I said a man got to come in and play the role.
No.
I never said it had to be harsh. I never said it had to be vulgar. I'm just saying that a man has to come in. I want to be your husband as well as a father.
Right. And ain't no balance
because that's what it is.
But like, you get a lot of men that's in these worlds who come in and they become this drill sergeant.
You're thinking about like Ving Rhames and Baby Boy.
Basically. And it's
What's wrong with that?
But his message.
Except for the naked part.
You is 30 at the crib.
Right.
But you get some of them, they come in too strong. It comes in too strong, but it comes in. But like this is another thing. Too,
what's too strong?
You can.
What is too strong?
Even as a woman in my house, like I said, you have to understand before you come in and insert your which I want it. I want you to come in and let me know that this is you plan on making this your kingdom. But you have to understand the dynamic of the house you done walked into. Understand how the household works.
Shjavon,
what is too strong?
If you coming in
wait,
this house.
Hold on. He ain't forced himself in, right?
I was waiting for him to come out.
Wait, I'm asking.
I didn't ask. I just
you
said,
let him in, right?
No, I'm saying
you gave him a key.
I can let him in. But
so you expecting him? You looking for?
It's a balance, though. I'm telling you.
You gotta shut that TV on.
In my perspective, this is not your perspective.
Okay.
In my perspective,
I'm listening.
as a single woman in 2022, while dating, when you have children, it has to be a balance of when you meet the kids, how you introduce the kids into the relationship, understanding it's boundaries. It's a boundary because that has to build up, because you're not going to go all in and be like, okay, I'm your new daddy now, because there's some men that do that. There's some of them walking the door like, I'm y'all new daddy. I'm going to...
Well, not no new daddy. Who do that?
Who is these people?
I'm your new daddy.
No, there's men that come in there, fuck that other nigga, I'm going to do this.
Well, see, that ain't the type of
Yeah,
man you talking about. We ain't talking about that.
That's what I said. You said you're making comments in your perspective, but I'm saying like you have to think about like the viewers. There's a lot of
But that's the same thing that attacks her, right?
Exactly,
because they're looking at it wrong.
They're looking exactly. You have to understand their perspective, because
Right.
everybody don't like her perspective as being a married woman was completely appropriate for her and other married women. In her situation.
Okay, so look,
That's what we want to
let's bring it to, because I already know this is why we love them when they're on the show, man. Because this is like we just kicking it. We forget we on air, we just
For a second.
Right.
But look, no, D, I want to tell you on live air right now in front of everybody, whoever's listening, man, fuck them people, man. That's your opinion. You stand on it. They're gonna think what they want to think.
They try.
All right, do your thing. Keep doing. I support you.
Join the club.
It is what it is. So look, this is what we're gonna do.
That's it.
We're gonna switch gears, because grind, it is about that time.
Man, shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the
plug. Listen, right now, I'm not telling y'all this stuff because I just feel like talking. Y'all need to check this stuff out, man. And the pursuit of moving forward. Reggie moving forward, man. Got his book out, The Pursuit of Moving Forward. Check it out. Y'all can inbox us, inbox TOTB, inbox Reggie Moving Forward, and you can inbox me, Moolah, inbox any one of us, find out where you can get the book from. All right, man, y'all check out the book. All right, man, Moolah Monster Collections. Listen, check them out, man. Don't hesitate. He got some the latest and greatest on urban wealth.
Sure.
All right, and he always coming out with something new for new seasons. Y'all check him out. Holy Grind, all streaming platforms. Go check it out. The latest album, SRT. Check it out. All right. Now, and of course, Counsel with the Counsel. Make sure y'all support our sisters. Yeah. As this is like, I don't know why you introduced them like welcome to the show, because they family here. How we get it in? They like
so send some of the nasty emails over.
Right.
Oh, I heard
some of it that way. That's all right. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. We ain't playing. Don't come at our sisters like that. But y'all make sure y'all check them out. Where they can find y'all at?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Twitter,
smoke signals.
Come on.
Messenger pigeon.
Right.
All right, Counsel with the Counsel.
Yes,
all right,
Counsel with
man.
the
Shout
Counsel.
out to the plug.
Shout out to the plug,
man.
man. Be sure you check out their podcast. They're really good, man. They talk a lot of good stuff, man. Okay, so if this is your first time checking out this show, these guys already know about it. The ladies already know about it. And some of my fans already know about it as well. This is What's in That Bag.
Yeah.
What we do here, What's in That Bag, you guys send us emails. We kind of dissect it. Let the thinkers and the ladies give their opinion. I finish off with mine, and then hopefully we help out. I think we kind of lose, and we ain't been helping out a lot lately. Sometimes we do.
Y'all have.
Sometimes we do.
Thank you.
Y'all have. I don't.
You guys have been sending us these emails, and shout out to the people that's been sending out responses to our advice. So we're gonna get back to those. So we have one, ladies and gentlemen, that I feel is different, and I'm curious to hear y'all opinion on it.
I'm not a scholar. Let me get some water.
Let me clear my throat around here.
All right, you guys ready? All right, let's do it.
Go.
Here we go. It says, "Hey guys, Reggie knows who this is, but for the sake of the show, please just call me Anonymous One."
Shit.
So we're going to call this person Anonymous One. Okay. Before I get into my situation for some advice, I want to say I commend you guys for bringing different perspectives to a lot of different topics. All four of you have unique views, even Moolah Monster. Damn. They definitely come for you. Okay, so let's talk about it. Me and my ex-husband have been divorced for about 6 months, and we have a 4-year-old son whom we both love to death. Here's the issue. The reason we got divorced is because he confessed to me that he was gay and he wanted to be with his new lover who was a guy at our church. Of course, I was devastated about the news.
Hold your mule.
Of course, I was devastated about the news.
We ain't never heard of that church.
And even a part of me wanted to work things out, but we just ended and went our separate ways. The problem is now he wants our son to spend the night with him and his new lover at their house. And I'm just not comfortable with it. And to be honest, neither is my son. He is still at an age where he is confused about what's going on, and I don't want to confuse him even further by letting him witness his dad with another man when he's been used to seeing his dad with me for all these years. My ex-husband is giving me such a hard time about this, but I think I'm doing what's best, at least for the foreseeable future. What do you guys think?
I think grind should go last.
Yeah, I definitely think
Grind should not even respond.
I think definitely grind should go
I'm just saying,
last.
I just wanted to put
I
that
go
out.
last.
But
I go last.
guys probably
guys,
are
ladies,
specialty.
gentlemen, everybody, think outside the box.
Right.
Do you think that this lady, anonymous one, think she's wrong for the approach she's doing? Or do you think she's justified by not letting her son go spend the night with the father overnight? Let's go with D.
Me first.
Oh, can I go first to get this out, my sister?
Oh, okay. Come on,
Yes,
Shamar,
let her
ahead.
go.
So I look at this two different ways. As a woman going through a divorce and her husband has moved on with another person and the child meet a new person, is it too soon? That's one perspective.
Okay.
So just take out the homosexuality. Just as a woman, we were married, our child was used to our relationship, and now you want to introduce your new person in your life to our child. That's going to be a huge adjustment for a child. I can understand why she's uncomfortable with it. I can understand why it's a lot, because not only are you having to deal with your emotions about what happened, now you're going to have a 4-year-old child trying to explain it to them. That's difficult. But in the same token, children are very resilient and they can adapt to whatever norm that they have.
You think?
I think, but if I feel like it goes back to what we mentioned earlier about, I hope like having that foundation, and if those two can get on the same page about how to help a relationship, I hope that she doesn't think that these two men are going to be having sexual relations in front of the child and being like humping on each other and groping each other in front of the child, and they have to explain those things. But I do think that at some point in a relationship that when you separate and the children do have to get to know the parents' new life. This is their new partner. This is going to be his new norm. His father being gay ain't never going to end. He's going to be gay for the rest of his life. And he's going to have to be able to like learn how to deal with it. And you kind of get ahead of it so you all can help that child navigate through those emotions together. So I don't think that she should keep the kid away. But I do think that her and the father needs to create boundaries on what's appropriate. Maybe y'all don't kiss in front of the kid right away. Maybe, if
Don't tell them not to be affectionate in front of the kids.
I mean, just to at least be able, because it takes you
serious?
you know what I'm saying? You have to build up to it, So that's my opinion on it.
I like
They definitely
So-
gonna email you.
What I say is to Shjavon's first part, I absolutely agree. I want to question the timing.
Okay.
I also no, that's
You gotta
important.
dig into it. Like, how did this happen?
No. I don't mean like that, but
Right.
think about it, Skylar. I do feel like, because like she said, the kid is 4, and even if the kid was 8, I still feel like if you and I have been together all this time, right? Since our child was born. Now I'm with Shjavon or whoever, a male or a woman, I think that it should be the time. It should be right. I also would like to question aside from that, what is her hesitancy? Is it because he's homosexual? Because my thing is, you can have inappropriate acts of affection in front of a kid when a couple is heterosexual. So, like seriously, like I'm not talking about like a simple kiss, hey, a slap on the ass, but I mean like you coming up to your lady, grabbing all on everything. I think that my opinion.
Okay.
I think that certain acts of affection can be a little too aggressive depending on the child's age. But that's what I would have to say. I think, she should step back and do some self-reflection as to why she has this hesitancy. That's my opinion. Because, let's just be honest. Homosexuality is everywhere, if that's it. So cartoons, it's everywhere. It's in the schools. You have, transgender kids going into, certain bathrooms and people might not be okay with that. So I just think it's everywhere. So that's my
But
thing.
you know what she said? She said she would have stayed with him. She didn't want the marriage to end.
Yeah, but I still question. I still question.
It's homosexuality. I think it's because he's not with her.
Because I don't know, I can only go off of what I took from the letter. I think that could be some of it. And, because I feel like if she left him for another woman, I don't think that she would have as much hesitation as she does.
So you call him the double standard. Okay.
Yeah.
Moolah, come on, man. Give me
Oh, God.
Well, I feel she should keep her child away
Okay.
for right now until her child mature, understand, physical health, education. Because you can't be around Dad and Donnell. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, kissing each other, feeding each other and shit like that. We can't be doing that right now. We can't, hinder the child, brain like that. We gotta let them still watch Pokemon and all that. We can't go through all that.
That's a think outside the box response.
I'm saying I wouldn't, if I was a child, tell him to hold on for a minute or make his own baby.
Scholar.
I'm not gonna totally support him, but I would keep the kid away.
Okay.
I can't really speak too much. I think we so afraid to say that we disagree, and she has the right to say that she may not agree with the homosexuality.
It's okay.
That doesn't make her a bad person. I don't agree
all.
with that. And like Shjavon said, emotionally, I'm willing to hang on to him, even though he left-handed. So that's a lot of confusion. So because there's so many many variables, I would keep the child away, seek some type of counseling, something like to give me better instructions on what steps
You
to
saying
make.
keep the child away, period.
But keep the child away, deal with the parent, but keep the child away until I can figure out how to navigate correctly. Okay. Because right now she's still emotionally attached and she don't accept that new position, right? So only thing that you're gonna bring the child into is confusion and chaos. So I'm keeping the child away.
Can he pick the child up and go to the park?
He can.
By himself.
Well, here's the thing. See, I'm not finna get boxing in that corner. What I'm saying is,
say your piece,
I'm finna say my piece. I don't want nobody like coming up with all these costume parties and different things like that. Until I figure out or get the proper understanding of the situation, I'm gonna have to keep my son away.
Okay, grind.
Right?
Man, keep your boy away from that dude and that other dude. Man, how did he get here? He ain't get here from no two dudes being together. Until he mature enough to understand that this ain't the way to go, keep him away. Bottom line. Now, people may think, it's harsh enough. Man, listen here, man. You got here from me and your father being together. See, me and your father, we produce life.
Normal.
Your father and what's his name, Donnell, they don't produce life.
He actually in the choir.
They don't produce life, and that's what makes it even worse. Because see, now you got all this. She gave a very good description. You gave a description of a man who met another man at church
Sunday morning service.
This right here is very unhealthy for him to be around. Very unhealthy for him to be around.
So are you saying keep him around for good?
Until he's mature.
Until the kid is mature.
Until the kid is mature enough.
Keep her son away from his father.
Until he's mature enough. Now listen.
So, but don't y'all speak against.
Hold on, wait. Because you saying y'all speak against. We speak. See, this is the problem with young men now. Because so many of them are confused. When you send them at a young age and they think this is how to be, see, his daddy ain't do nothing but move off his emotions and his lust. See, we trying to teach our young men, especially black men, this ain't the way to move. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at things, analyze them for what they is, and you got to walk
No, I agree with that.
Wait, the best one to teach. So think about it like this.
Ain't no black man that's laying with another black man. To teach no young black man how to be a man.
So you said keep the kid who we've already identified as a boy. Now, one thing that you all always say, you speak against households where there's no father figure.
Okay.
So we're taking no.
Right.
I'm just speaking to what he said. You're saying keep the kid away from his father.
Listen, no.
Based
No,
off-
go ahead.
Wait, let me finish.
So
She asked
based
me.
off who he's
Bruh,
sleeping with.
Hold on, wait. You asked me a question. Hold on, she asked me a question.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Don't let him go over there."
Mm-hmm.
No, he cannot go over there. And you're not keeping him away from a father figure. You're keeping him away from a man who thinks he's a woman.
Because
he's taking penis like
Right,
a woman takes
Hold
penis.
on, let me say this. Let's just if we remove
right.
if we remove the homosexual part out of the equation,
Mm-hmm.
there are other circumstances where y'all wouldn't want the kid to be around the parent if he was a drug dealer,
Exactly.
if he was something like that. But I think what we're trying to get tied up is in the sexual. I disagree. I don't understand certain in this situation, and I'm in authority. So this is the thing. I don't understand, and I'm in authority.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you was, if the person had a different lifestyle, different type of female coming in and out, you don't want your child over. What if you don't even like them people family?
So let me-
and y'all break away. You don't want your kid over there,
Right.
and you have the right to keep your kid away from him
And-
until you feel comfortable. In this case, it's some different type of behavior that's foreign to us. And we don't agree with it.
So let me
Don't-
clear
don't-
this up. Let me clear this up real quick because Amy said, pause. This is the father forever. This is teaching the son to still love his father, even if the father is gay. Now I want to clear this up.
Go ahead.
He could come around him.
Okay, got you.
She
Period, yeah.
should allow him to come around him.
Yeah, because what I thought I heard you say, I don't want to make any assumptions.
No, I'm
I
basing
thought
it
I heard
off
you
of the
say
letter.
Keep him away.
I'm
Got it.
basing it off of the letter. Don't let him go.
Got it.
That's what I'm saying. No, you can't spend a night with them.
Okay.
Because what if you do walk in the room on them at night? Or stuff like that. See, I don't even want him to see the interaction. I wouldn't even want him at 4 to see that type of interaction.
I got you.
Now, my boys is 8 and 10 now. But they know. They know like that ain't the way to go.
Yeah.
They know that. Now they mature enough to understand that. But at 4 years old, I don't want him to think like this is what he's supposed to partake of. I don't, and that's me.
Last
you.
point.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the father, man, if he really concerned, you should be more or less developing a relationship.
Come on, bro.
And not worry about that.
Come on,
I do
bro. About
agree
you
with
seeing
that.
me with
Now,
him.
now that,
Come
now
on,
that
you know
I
what I'm
do
saying?
agree with
Like,
that.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm just gonna end on that.
I agree with that.
And once again, anonymous one.
agree with
I'll give my final opinion before we sign off. I feel like I think everybody hit points that I agree with. I feel like this is the problem why so many kids grow up without fathers. You know what I'm saying? Because, drug dealing or being gay or whatever like that. Just because that man decided to leave his wife and become gay doesn't mean he should not see his kid. No. Now, I do agree that spending the night right away might not be the smartest thing, but definitely he should see his son. But as a mother, you should allow him to explain to his son what daddy new life is. Not you. It don't have to be right now.
Right,
But
right.
gradually, every Saturday you take him to go play basketball.
Right.
Whatever time you spend with him, gradually get him used to, mommy and daddy ain't together no
Get some
more,
hate
whatever.
Right.
Because being a father, we see it every day. When you don't have a father in your life, Joe, that does a lot.
But what
for
if he
a
go
kid.
back to women? You didn't just
Well,
you didn't just train him like this is how I'm living now, and then he go back.
But
messing them up,
But
man.
Reg made the
Stop saying
point.
trying.
We don't want it to get distracted on he doing this. If he left-handed, right-handed, we want to maintain a relationship with the father.
That's
and,
it.
and currently,
Him as a father,
you know,
That's the most
yeah,
important.
right
Change
now,
on
dad is pitching left-handed, and if he, that, but that's not really important.
Right, we ain't even got to talk about that. You want to see your son? Go see your son.
Yeah,
but
that's
we ain't
it.
got to talk about, you catching a pitching.
Right.
And
We
name
ain't
of
talk
the-
about
I think my
that.
whole
and the
thing
name of
is-
this show is Thinking Outside the Box. So you might don't like some of my opinions.
Hey.
Yeah,
and you
that's
might
gonna
do
happen,
so.
and that's fine. So hopefully we helped. But this is a letter that I feel like, you know what? I want you to write in and just give us what happened. Tell us what happened. I'm curious to see
Yes.
the backlash on this
Yeah.
because I am firm on a man being in his kid's life, no matter what he got going on. He could be with an alien. Be in your child's life and don't stop that man from seeing them. Now, spending the night right away might not be the best thing. Gradually let that develop, but of course let him see his child. So, what we gonna do, we about to sign off, man, but one more time, fellas, let's give it up for Counsel with the Counsel.
Yes.
Ladies, thank y'all so much, man. Y'all know y'all family, man. Y'all pull up anytime y'all want to,
Next time
man.
y'all stress me out, I'm gonna pull up to the studio.
That part. So look, we about to sign off. Grind, tell the people where they can find you at, brother.
At Holy Ground on IG or Holy Grind, all streaming platforms.
We just stress grind out. Moolah.
Moolah Monster Collections. Check me out Instagram.
Scholar.
Great.
Black_Scholar, IG.
Shjavon, tell them where they can find you one more time.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Let's Be Great, and also with Counsel with the Counsel.
There it is, DeeAshanti.
DeeAshanti, all social media platforms, and Counsel with the Counsel.
You know it. Of course, I'm Reggie before. You can find me at the NASSOCIETY. And ladies, y'all gonna see Thinking Outside the Box too. Because we are
Thinking Outside the Box.
We'll see y'all next time, man.
See, things have come to head. Time out for Scare You Scared. Reroute today and follow us down Courage Lane. They cages in, break down the gates. We want all the smoke, like we chiefing on a pound a day, but not talking intoxicating rage. Not intoxicating.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.